Great, that worked. Thank you. It's the 11th of July. It's Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, no. My camera isn't working. I might have to reboot my computer.
Well, I must say, you look rather dapper.
I don't know what's going on. It was working with Zoom. It actually said it failed with Zoom, but we're not on Zoom anymore.
Yeah, you can't blame Zoom because we're on Google.
Okay, let me sign off. I'll sign back right on, okay?
I must say, though, the Google Meet doesn't have a hex-shirt.
Uh-huh. I hear you.
Some Meet has, some Meet doesn't. All right, you do what you have to do. We'll see you in a few minutes
Okay,
then.
good.
Okay, welcome back, Lou.
Thank you. Phil is coming.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, how you know about David Ben Moshe?
From Rabbi London. Rabbi London is the source of information. He called me yesterday and asked me to send out that message.
Ah,
So I don't have personal knowledge, no.
okay. All right. All right.
But
For
he
Shlomo.
also said that Rabbi Furman was involved.
Okay, so
Rabbi London said Rabbi Furman is also involved in what's going on.
okay, good. Okay, so we'll yeah. For Shlema, Suris Tevas.
Amen, amen.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, good. Welcome to Phil. You got the link.
Got the link, it works.
Baruch Hashem. Very nice. Oh, we got a full picture of today.
Yeah, well, I guess it's, the computer camera is different than the phone camera.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Bill, there's no background noise either.
Good. Well, I don't hear the construction going on today, so it's okay. Usually there's construction going on, but there's no construction today.
Oh, because it's an Arab holiday.
No, there was probably not allowed in with the president. I don't know.
No, it's Arab holiday now.
Oh, it is, true.
Yeah,
How many days is that now?
I don't know.
Okay. All right, so let's see where we're holding over here on Sadi Vav Amid Beis. Also, we did the story about Amr of Papa Haiman de Guzel Afra Mechavre Avidu Levinsa. He steals the earth and he makes it into a brick. And the other way around. And then we talked yesterday about the ingot. He guzzled a ingot and made the zuze. He made coins with it. And what happens about the other way around? So I guess now we are up to Shechime. Where it says Shechime, that's where we're up to over here. Shechime is the first word on the line. It's about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 lines from the top of Sadi Vav Amid Beis 96b. You'll find the word Shechime.
In the art scroll, it's 96B1, right-hand column, second paragraph. Ralph Papa continues.
So we're going to find out what that word means, hopefully. And so we go to Alan to lead off the reading today, please.
So which line is in the right-hand column? Number
The
of Papa, right?
the right-hand column, second paragraph, Ralph Papa continues.
Rav Papa continues. Shechime Ava Dinahu Karate Lo Corne. If one stole old tarnished coins and made them like new, for example, he shined them, he does not acquire them. Charate Dinahu Shechi Me Corne. If, however, he stole new coins and made them tarnished, he does acquire them. May armor rate. What might you say in objection? There or vid lahu karate, that he can again make them shiny and new again, and thus tarnishing them does not constitute an irreversible change. May day dia shicha mayahu. This is not so, for the tarnish will always be discernible.
Okay. I guess we have silver today. I think you can polish it up and it looks as good as new.
Well, they have what's called proof sets. If you're a coin collector, you buy a proof set It's a bunch of coins that come vacuum packed in plastic.
Uh-huh.
And that's to protect the coins, to make sure that they maintain their pristine new appearance.
Uh-huh.
So I would presume that's because of this fact, that you can't get them back to being perfectly like new.
Okay. Okay, so you can't, wow. All right, so we see what the level of recognition that's required for this hadar ovid lahu chadate. He has to be exactly like it was, and if it's discernible, then it's not. Even though they look a lot better, they look almost new, but they're not. Almost new is not as good as new. Okay. And now we go to, do we have any Rashi?
Rashi,
Shechime.
Shechime, Shechorim, they're black. Ayin, Yishani, like old eyes.
Ke'en Yeshenim. So the word Ke'en doesn't mean like an eye over here, but it means like something which is comparable to. It's comparable to Yeshenim, that they are old, I guess, as opposed to being new ones. And the next one too. Next Rashi also.
The next Rashi is, let's see, I took my place 2 seconds ago. The Avadya Hadati. The Avadya Hadati. He made them, and that makes them new.
Right. Right.
Shalivana, because he whitens them. He Rokani, he doesn't acquire them. Shesofram lachazor liyosham, because he's able to, at the end, to return them to their agedness. He can make them old again.
That we could do. We could make the new coins look like old ones, whether that means tarnished, whether it means blackened. They look like old coins. That can be done, and so that would constitute a kinyan now, because on that the Gemora asked. But 1 second, it's you can now make them look new. You can make them look new now. So why is he koine with the fact that he made them look old? So the Gemara said, like we were saying, that no, it's made a yadiyah. It is known that it's that really they are it's known, it's clear, it's apparent that they look old, that they look black. You can't get them fully clean. Can't clean them up. Okay. All right. So that's all we have so far. This low koni, that's weiter, I guess. Okay, so let's go to the
The low kani
Zehakla.
was just there. The low kani was there. He doesn't acquire. That was right after it. He can make them old again. We said that. He doesn't require them because he's able to make them old again. That's the next word. That's the word right after the, wasn't that was words, right?
It's
say
out of
Lokani?
order.
Actually, it doesn't say Lokani. Yes, it does. It's the first, where you began it. Shechime, the Adinu, the Hadati, Lokani.
Why? Why is he not Kona?
Because he's able to reverse it.
Shesofan lachzo liyoshten, because they can their end is to become to return to their status of being old ones. Oh, so that's right. Okay, so that's the Rashi. That's oh good. Okay, right. It's not out of order. It's right there. He stole shechime. Shechime are shechorim. They're the ones that look old. And avidate hadate, he makes them look new. Lo kona, he's not kona like that, because they're going to end up becoming old and going to become old and black also. So it's a shinui, which is choser. Shinui v'choser is not regarded as a shinui, and therefore that's why the gazlan won't be kona. Won't be kona. Okay, very good. Okay, now we go to the next section. Zeh klal. That's what it says in the Mishnah. Zeh klal. And Roy, would you like to read for us?
Ze hakal kol hagazaleini nin mishalamin kishaat hagazala. This is the rule. All robbers pay the value as of the time of the robbery. That's the rule. Zehaba la'atave may. What does this expression, this rule, come to include? La'atave, no, la'atave, lata'ui. How do you say that word? Lata've. Right. Ha Dharma Rabbi Eliezer. It comes to include that which Rab Ilya said. Ganev Torah V'na'asta Ale. If one stole a lamb and it matured into a ram, Hegel V'na'asta Shor. Or he stole a calf and it matured into an ox. Says Shanoi B'yodo he has undergone a physical change in his possession and he has thereby acquired it. But then Tovach Umava, if he then slaughtered or sells it, Shalahu Toveach, he is not liable for the 4 or 5-fold payments, for it is his animal that he is slaughtering. Shalahu Mava, and it is his animal that he is selling.
Very good.
We went through all of this much earlier on, didn't we? Much earlier on in the Gemora.
Yeah, we've been discussing the matters like this, yes. So here we see the Mishnah is telling us this rule over here And it's interesting to note over here, this is a noteworthy thing to note on the derech of the Mishnah. You see the word in this Mishnah over here, it says Zeh HaKlal. This is the cloud.
Mhm.
Kol HaGazlanim Mishamim K'shas HaGzela. All Gazlanim, they pay according to the time of the Gzela. That's when the payment is to be made according to the time of the Gzela. So it sounds like a very nice thing the Gemora said over here, very understandable. But the Gemora asks, Lasuye mai, what is this klal coming to include? What do you mean? What's it coming to include? It's telling you a general rule. That's the rule. But the Gemara understands that when the Mishnah uses this expression of Zeh Klal, it's coming to include something that we didn't know before. And oftentimes, like in this Mishnah, I think if you look, you'll see that the Mishnah was talking about these matters. And now the Mishnah like wraps it up and says, oh, this is the klal, in case you didn't figure it out. But the Gemara says, what's that coming to include? It's not enough, in other words, for the Gemara to say, what do you mean, what's it coming to include? We just gave you, like in America, when you're studying for a test or whatever, and you've got Cliff Notes or Monarch Notes, or they give you they give you a capsule in a nutshell. In a nutshell, this is what the 500 pages of this book that you were supposed to read for the test. This is what, they give you 5 lines. That's what this book is about. Every 500 pages, and they reduce it to 5 lines. This is what in a nutshell, that's what this book is about, right? So you say to them, thank you very much. But nobody says, what did you say? That's the rule of, that's the klal of this book. That's the operating principle of this book. The Gemara says, no, what's it coming to include that you said this is the operating rule of what we're saying over here in this Mishnah? In other words, there's a rule to the rule. And the rule is that whenever the Mishnah says Zeh HaKlal, it's coming to include something that we did not know beforehand. It is not simply a Cliff Notes or a Monarch Notes that's coming to tell you that this is what you should have gotten out from the Mishnah. No, that's not the way the Mishnah talks. So that's why the Gemara here is asking, Lasuye mai, this klal that you've put down here in the Mishnah, what is it coming to include more than what we already know from what it says in the Mishnah? And so therefore the Gemara, Rebbe Eloi comes in along and says, yes, it's coming to include the following thing that it didn't say explicitly in the Mishnah yet. So Roy is saying, but we did mention this before. We mentioned this something connected to this about this. We mentioned this before. Perhaps if you can find where it is, I'd be very happy to see it. But barring that, the Mishnah is saying over here that this is what the Mishnah is coming to include, which we didn't see before.
Right.
Do we have Rashi? Nasa shinu biyodo, yes.
He made a change while it was in his possession, and therefore requires it. The kaf, therefore, im tavach or machav, if he slaughtered it or sold it, it's shalom, it's his. Who? Tovat, and that's a tovach, and he slaughtered shalom, it's his. Who? Umachar. Umachar, the ain mishalem, ella kefil. You shouldn't have to pay only the kefil. He doesn't have to pay the 4 and 5. He only has to pay for the theft, but he doesn't have to pay the 4 and 5 because he's not slaughtering the other guys or selling the other guys. He's selling his own.
Right. The Ein B'Shalom El Kefil. And Rashi concludes that this Goslin will he will though have to pay kefil though for being a ganav. Actually, he's a ganav over here. What it said over here, ganav tleh. So a ganav will pay kefil. The fact that he is kona the animal with the shinui, the animal he stole the tleh. He stole the young. What's a tleh? Is a young
Sheep.
a young
Lamb.
sheep, a lamb. He stole a lamb, and then the Nasa Isle, it became a Isle. It became an old sheep, a ram. So that, even though he didn't do anything to it, it's a chiddush. He did not do anything to the animal. He didn't spend any money on it. He didn't. He did feed it, but whatever. The animal became an Isle. Not because of him taking care of it necessarily, but so even though he didn't really have to do too much of anything, he still acquires it because, like the Gemora says, nasa shinoi biado. It underwent a shinoi biado under his hand, which is referring to under his control and domain when he after he had stolen it, and therefore he's kona it, and therefore he doesn't have to give the animal back, but he does have to pay kashas ha gezela, and a ganav will pay kefil though. He'll still pay kefil. Okay. Now we go to the next section. How Gabra de Gozal Padona.
Wait, I don't understand. What does it come to include?
What's it coming to include? Lou says, what's it coming to include? Good question.
We're not talking about something here that he did something to cause the change. It's just something over time that it matured and there was a change. It's a different case of a time at the time of the robbery. He didn't do anything, the Gazlan. It just happened to get older. So before it was a lamb, and now it grew up and it became a whatchamacallit, it became the ram. Now it's worth more money because it's now an older thing, it has more meat and whatever. So on that, he just has to give what it was originally, not the increased value.
But we already have a case like that.
Well, the case like that is the other guy did something. This is not the other guy did something. This is just something on it. And he's also trying to teach, the case of the fact that he's not responsible for Arba v'Chamesh. That's what it's teaching here.
If that's true, then when it says if one stole a pregnant cow and it gave birth, what did he do?
Yeah, but there was no Arba v'Chamesh situation. He's teaching that this rule applies even to the Arba v'Chamesh situation, that it's only a kefil situation. Because he is slaughtering it and selling it.
Okay, so
No, it doesn't. That's not true. Look at what Reb Ilya said. One stole a lamb and it matured into a ram. There's no slaughtering or selling here. It doesn't add anything to the case of stealing a pregnant cow.
yeah, where was the Mishnah? The Mishnah
Mishnah is 93b1, top of the page.
93b. Okay, Gozel Eitzim. Asam Kalim. Semiva Asam Begodi. Mishalim Kishas Gzela. Gazel Para. Muberes. Biyolda. Rachel to Una. Begozaza. Mishalim Demei. Para. Omes Lele. In other words, the idea is what I'm trying to do over here, and you can also now do the same thing, is we're looking through the dinim that it mentions in the Mishnah, and we're trying to understand in a conceptual sense what are the rules that we're learning out from the Mishnah. So one of the rules that we learned out from the Mishnah, it already said it, that it said Mishalim Kishas Agzela, the very first sentence of the Mishnah. He steals eitzim and he makes it into kelim. He steals tzemer, he makes it into clothing. Mishalim Kishas Hagzela. So fine. So we already have that principle that when a gazlan steals something and he makes a kinyan in that item that he stole, and therefore he doesn't have to return that because he made a kinyan in it, but he still is a gazlan, of course, and he's got to pay. And so we say that he pays according to the what it was at the time of the gzela. Okay, so we got that principle already. Now at the very end of the Mishnah says, "Oh, zeh haklal. This is the klal that comes out from the Mishnah. All gazlanim, every single last one of those dirty gazlanim, they're going to pay kashas hagzela." So now, here's the principle. The klal is that what is this sentence doing over here? What is it telling us? So you can't say, "Oh yeah, it's just coming to tell me a synopsis of the rule that we learned out in the Mishnah." No, that's not a sufficient answer to explain what words in a Mishnah are doing there. That doesn't work. Only works for monarch notes and cliff notes. So the rule is that it's coming to include something. So that's what Lou is asking. So what is, and that's what the Gemora is asking. And the Gemora gave an answer, and Gemora's answer was, yeah, it's coming to include the following: when a ganav steals a lamb and the lamb turns into a ram, so he's that will constitute a kinyan for him, and as a result thereof, he won't have to pay. The Mishnah says, the Gemara rather says that if he checks it or what do you call it, checks it or sells it, it's called his that he sold or stole. Okay, fine. So now what Lou's asking is, 1 second, what exactly is the what are we learning? What did the klal has got to tell us something that we did not know before from what the Mishnah said. So what is it telling us exactly more than what we already know from what it says in the Mishnah? So what we know from the Mishnah so far is that when you steal wood and you fashion it into a kli, or you steal the gazlan steals wool and it goes into a garment, then that's a kinyan and you pay kashas agzela, right? So then so now the Mishnah says all gazlanim, that's what happens with them, all of them, all gazlanim. So what is all gazlanim coming to tell me? This klal. So Lou's asking a valid question. What is the answer? In other words, Rev Elazar gave an answer to the Gemora's question. The Gemora accepts the answer. So what we're trying to figure out is, what exactly is the Tosefes? What's the extra thing that we learn, the extra chiddush that Rebbe Lo is telling us with this case of stealing a lamb and it turns into a ram, and like that, he's made an acquisition and he only is going to have to pay, and therefore he won't have to pay Daled B'Hei if he shacks sells the animal after that. What's the chiddush? What is that's the answer to what's the my lasuye mai. So we're trying to understand what exactly what are we including as the thing that we're learning over here? What's Rebbe Lo teaching us? So Lou's saying, what, we didn't know the din that when a ganav makes a kinyan in the article that he stole, shalohu tovech shlo mocher. I don't know. Maybe this Mishnah is where we learn it, but the Gemora quoted it somewhere else. I don't know. But that's what we have to do. We have to work to figure out what is the lasuye mai. What is it that Rebbe Lo in his din, in his case over here, what exactly is it that we're learning that we didn't know before from what it says in the Mishnah? So I would say like this, off the top of my hat, the Mishnah says, if you steal wood or wool and the Goslin does an effort to, with his action and effort and work, he makes the article into a different thing. He makes it into a clothing. He makes it into a kli. Oh, like that, the din is the Goslin will pay kashas agzela because he was kohen. But I wouldn't necessarily know from that din that even a Goslin who steals a young lamb, and the young lamb after a certain period of time, it turns into a ram, that he's kohen on account of the fact that it now is a ram. What did he do exactly? He was sitting in his house watching television, and the lamb is slowly turning into a ram. What did he do? Maybe that's not called a kinyan, and like that, he would, with the rule of all Gazlanim paying kashas gzela would not apply to that Goslin. He's not going to get a kinyan for just watching television. Why the animal is turning into a different animal on its own? What did he do? He didn't do anything.
So my challenge to that is, what did he do when the pregnant cow gave birth? He was sitting there watching TV, and the pregnant cow gave birth. So it's the same case.
Okay. He didn't do anything over there. I hear. Perhaps one could say that's a whole new creation over there. That on account of that whole new creation, he's made an acquisition. But here, it is exactly it is the animal. It just got more mature, and that's the nature of animals, to get bigger and to grow as they go. It's the same animal. There's nothing new over here other than the fact that the animal matured. Perhaps one would say that in that case, you don't have a birth of a new animal, that would not constitute a kinyan, that the Goslin would be kohen. I'm going to read to you what it says over here in the notes, because it would seem that the Rishonim are grappling with this question as well. What exactly because it's a very fitting question to ask. Okay.
Later.
Let me see over here.
Thanks. Okay, bye-bye.
One second over here. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so now we're gonna add some spice to this question over here. You may have noticed that the language of the Gemora features parentheses. Zehaklal is in parentheses, and the word kol is in brackets. When it says Zehaklal, kol lasuye mai. That was the Gemora's question. So what's the brackets all about? What's the parentheses all about? Over here, you got sort of a double issue over here. Number one, you have the fact that the Mishnah said Zehaklal. Whenever it says Zehaklal, it's coming to include something. And then it says kol, all the gazlanim. So it sounds like something is being included from the word kol, all gazlanim. Even these types of gazlanim, we're going to say on them, this din, what it already told us in the Mishnah, that they pay kishas agzela. So on this extra word, you've got the Rush and the Nemuki Yosef in the name of the Ra'ah, and they all say that from this word kol, Marvinin Tle Vanasa Ayo, that comes to tell us the chiddush of the case of the Tle. They stole the Tle and it turned into an Ayo. Okay. Aval Zeh Klal, this that the Mishnah used the word Zeh Klal, that itself is, even if it wouldn't have said the word kol, the Gemara would still be asking a question: what is being included in this last statement of the Mishnah? And so they say something else for the Zeh Klal. They say Zeh Klal bola rabos yukra v'zula, the appreciation and depreciation. Very current topic today, right? She'im hisyakra ohuzla hagzela b'shas amod bedin. If at the time of the court case to try the Gazlan for his crime, if at that time shas amod bedin that there was appreciation or depreciation in the stolen article, ukvar eno be'en, and the animal is no longer in existence, mishalam agazlan estemeha kafi shavya b'shas agzela below kafi demeha akshav. The gazlan will only pay for what the animal was worth at the time of the gezerah, the time of the gezerah of the gezerah, and whether it goes up, whether it goes down, he's only going to pay kishas hagzela. That's what they all say. But Tosos in Bava Metzia, he writes otherwise, that Shadin Tlev Nasa Ayel Nilmad Miyitur Zehaklal. Tosus says the other way around for some reason. That the additional chiddush that a Tlev Nasa Ayel, that's learned out from the word Zehaklal, and the din of Yukra Vizula, appreciation and depreciation, Nilmad Mi'etzem Divrei Mishnah, that it says Kol Hagazlani Mishamim Kashas Agzela. שבפשוטם נאמרו לעניין זה. Okay, so that seems to be what's coming out from the Rishonim. They're saying that the chiddush, the extra din that we're learning that we did not know from the Mishnah before was the case of the fact that this is a tle, and it by itself it turned into an aisle. And you're asking about what about the pregnant
Cow.
animal? What was it? Was it pregnant at the time that he stole it?
Yes.
It was already pregnant at the time that he stole it. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, and the next case we have is the wool. It was wool laden at the time he stole it.
Okay, I have to leave now. Take care, be well.
Okay. All the best, Bill.
We all have to go, Rabbi. It's 12:32.
Okay.
I'd like to go over this again if you don't mind, because I heard what you said, but I didn't really understand. I didn't really follow the logic. I didn't get the whole point about the depreciation and appreciation. I don't even see where that comes in.
Okay.
Maybe we
Very
can go
good.
over it again, please.
Okay.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Okay, Roy.
Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
All
We're
the
on today,
best.
Alan?
4 o'clock? Oh.
Yep.
Okay.